Okay, here we have a Backwall 437 with onboard humidity. So on this Backwall 437 here, with humidity, I'm going to go over, the colors and all the terminal landings here for everything. So on top, we got our black common wire. On terminals 2 and 3, we have our 24 volts AC hot. So it's going into 2, and then I have jumpered it over to 3. On terminal 4, we have binary output 1. That's going to be our green wire for the fan. Then we have on binary outputs 2 and 3, we have Y1 and Y2. So yellow is Y1, blue is Y2 for cooling. On binary outputs 4 and 5, we have W1 with white, W2 in brown. That's our 2 stages of heating. Binary output 6 is going to be our dehumidification. So we're using one binary output here and a relay up on the unit to power 2 stages of dehumidification wired in series. So they'll act as one stage of dehumidification as far as we're concerned. Down here on analog output 2, we have our purple wire, which is going to be our economizer. So a 0 to 10 signal for that. Down here, we have on analog input 1, we have our supply sensor. This is twisted shielded with the shield being landed on the common for that analog input to get rid of all the noise in our signal coming from that sensor. And then on 16 and 17 down here, we have our MSTP network twisted shielded wire as well, with the ground for those wires being landed on one end. Don't have to move any jumpers or anything. We're on a rooftop. We got 2 solenoids here for our reheat for dehumidification that we're wiring up right now.
Well, regardless, we run out yeah, we're just running actuator direct and cylinder direct, and we're using our control with the PID there to control everything.
So in this shot here, we have our logic board on the top left of this panel, where we're landing all of our wires coming from the Backwall 437 and the shop floor. So we got our black common here, green fan wire, our white and brown heating wires, our yellow and blue cooling wires, and then our 24 volts AC. Over here is our transformer. We have our common and our hot 24 volts AC coming here, as well as on the bottom we have our a ground wire, which is secured to the unit itself, which is connected to this panel over here, which you can't see inside of in this shot, but we have our ground from a utility coming in here attached to the unit, so it's grounded through the unit itself. Additionally, these wires in this aren't hooked up yet, but we have our purple and our orange, if you look closely. So we're going to have our orange going over to those 2 solenoids, which are wired up in series for our dehumidification. And then we'll have our purple wire going over to this guy, which this actuator was replaced shortly after we were in the field here. But this is a floating actuator on the Economizer, which is in this area back here. So this was replaced with a 0 to 10 actuator for this Economizer, which was connected with that purple wire from the analog output coming from our back wall. So the main takeaway from this is just it's important to be consistent with your wiring colors as best as possible. Make sure everything's grounded properly so you're not going to get any weird readings or damage any of your equipment. as well as making sure your shields are landed properly. Using shielded wire is important for getting accurate measurements from your temperature sensors, as well as accurate communication on your MSTP networks. But yeah, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you for watching the Strato Automation technical channel, and have a great day.